Thomas, do you want to start us off with the question?
Yeah, I appreciate the time, Coach. Thank you. Looking first before we get to Orlando, it appears that this season teams are generally capitalizing more on mistakes than you've probably seen in past years in MLS. Is that kind of a sign of the league's growth and strengthening, or is it just maybe these mistakes have been put under a microscope over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our goal every game is to score the first goal, but there's another very good team playing the game, and you have a 50% chance of scoring the first goal. So ultimately, we've not been scoring the first goal. The first 3 games we gave up the first goal was a set piece. We've since corrected that with two games where we've defended set piece as well. The last 2 games, honestly, I think we've given up fluke goals, completely fluke. There's not much you can do to correct when a guy slips or when the goalkeeper doesn't catch the ball. You know, at the end of the day, you know, does it make you feel any better? No, but you know, I like to have trends that I can correct, and I don't see a trend in those 2 goals we conceded where there's much I can do to correct it. I think our mentality is good, and I do think we're going to get the first goal hopefully in this next game. And but you know, again, you don't always get the first goal. You know, because there's good teams playing, and I think it's important to understand too. Like, we're playing really good teams right now. You know, so when I looked at the schedule right off the bat, and I saw New York Red Bull, and I saw Nashville, and I saw Philly, and I saw Orlando and KC the next week. Those are, historically speaking, locks for the playoffs every single year. So we're not playing teams that are sometimes in the playoffs and sometimes not. We're playing the blue bloods of our league who are always in the playoffs, always. You know, when you look at Red Bull, they're always in, right? When you look at Philly, they're always in. When you look at Nashville, they've always been in. You look at Orlando, they're always in under Oscar and KC. So we are playing some of the best teams in the league. And I think it's great because early in the year, we're raising our bar of how good we need to be. We're falling short, obviously, in the finishing aspect. We're getting a lot right versus the best teams. But I think the results haven't been there, which leads people to believe that possibly we're failing. I think it's a little bit, we're playing really good teams right now. And I don't think we're failing quite as much as you might think. But ultimately now, irrespective of who we're playing, we got to get a result in this next game. And it's a big week because we have Orlando, huge home game, opportunity for us to bounce back with a big 3 points against the best team we've played. I'll say Orlando is the best team we've played this year. The front 4 are extremely dangerous. And then after that, we got to turn around and play in an Open Cup game in Detroit 2 days later. And then we go on the road KC. So it's never easy in our league. Our guys are ready. They'll be ready every game. This will be a difficult game, but I know our group will be up for it.
And talking about kind of this week in training, you talk about capitalizing, scoring those chances that you have had in the last few weeks. How has the response been in training, not just by Miguel and Jossie, but by the team as a whole? After the match on Saturday, you were obviously fired up just because of the result.
Yeah. You weren't here early in the week, right?
No.
Okay, so yeah, you probably missed a lot of that conversation early in the week, which we talked about a lot. But just to rehash it, yeah, of course, had a good meeting. You know, what I say to my team in the press are the same thing always, you know, so they hear exactly what I say to you before actually I say it to you. So there's never a surprise ever. I'm an honest guy. I don't, say one thing to you and something different to them. So ultimately what I say to you is what I say to them. So there's never a problem. And when I say something, it's the truth always. And I have good relationships with these guys where I can be honest with them, very similar to how I talk to my son or my sons or my daughter. I mean, for me, it's love, but it's, yeah, we need to be a little better. It's belief. And that was the message. We need a little bit more around the goal, a little more hunger, we need a little bit more toughness. And they all agreed. We had a good video meeting, and I've seen really good work today and the rest of the week in training. That leads me to believe that we'll be 5 to 10% better, which is all we need. You know, we don't need to be a lot better. It's just little things: timing, aggression. Can we get that extra runner? These are all things I talked about on Tuesday when you weren't here.
Student.
No, all right.
Then looking forward to Orlando this week. This season so far, they've been having to adjust. They brought in brand new attacking players, and now they lose Carlos now for a few months on defense. Lose to Cincinnati, but then you beat the Galaxy, and then you lose to LAFC. What are you seeing from Orlando and their kind of early season hiccups and the kind of team that they're looking to be this season?
I don't know, early season hiccups. They've got 3 wins. You know, they're a very good team. You know, I think most every team in the league is right around the same record after like 6-7 games typically. So what I see is a very good team. I know Oscar really well. He's an excellent coach. There's a lot of similarities in this team to a lot of teams he has in terms of how they play. There's always kind of a trademark defensively and in the attack. But also they're very adaptable as well under Oscar. They'll do different things to win games. But they're always athletic. They're always tough physically and mentally. They're great in transition. They're good on set pieces. They can keep a bit of the ball, but they don't need to. They can press high, but they don't need to. They do what they need to win. And they're the best team we've played. Obviously 7 games in. Their front 4 is extremely dangerous. So there's been a lot of talk about their front 4 kind of getting chemistry. Well, it's a good problem to have when you have Pato and Cara and Torres and Perea trying to get chemistry, because that front 4 is as good as any front 4 in the league. And they're very balanced. You know, they typically create a 3-line with one of their outside backs low, with one of their outside backs high. One of their wingers usually plays narrow, more like a second striker. One of their wingers plays a little more wide to create that width on the side that they play the outside back low. They typically play a 6 lower and an 8 higher, and they execute. And again, sometimes they press, sometimes they drop off a little more, sometimes they play out, sometimes they go direct a little bit more. They're very well-rounded and multifaceted in their style of play. And over a long MLS season, that's why they're always in around the playoffs, is because they can do different things to win games depending on what the game calls for.
And last question, with DK Mueller and Nani out, you talked about that front 4 still being really dangerous. Have you seen any change in that front with the all new personnel kind of being in the forward and on the wing starting?
Yeah, they're more talented than they were last year. That's the most talented front 4. I told my team that it's the most talented front 4 that we faced. And I think it's the most talented front 4 that Oscar's had. They have a true number 9, Cara, who's 6'4", strong, nice feet, good hold-up player. Pato's a world-class player. You know, so yeah, you lose Mueller, but you get Pato back, who was injured last year, and he's a world-class player. I mean, in the box, he's got as much quality as anybody in our league and around the goal. Torres is a really nice player, very direct, left-footed, provides a lot of width. And Perea, I think, is really coming in to his own. Really smart, good rhythm player, likes to overload wide, works in the half spaces. And, you know, I think, of course, yeah, you lose Nani and you lose Mueller and you lose DK, but I think who they replace those guys with are even better.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Yep.